Greetings and welcome to Rising Sunshine with Sheera. Thank you all very much for tuning in to our very first episode. I am so excited about today's episode. I have here with me my co-host, Simone.
Love Money B.
I'm so sorry I fucked up your name.
No, it's okay. Love Money.
And I also have my friend here, Chief Rebel, my very first guest. You know, I had to start it off in Black Native nature. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to have the fam in the house. I'm very excited about getting started today. We are congratulating, inspiring, and informing your shift from trauma and drama to health and wealth. That is the total purpose of this platform, is just to help you make the transitions that you want to make in your life, and hopefully help you to see the conversations that I have in my everyday life with my everyday people that help me to evolve, that I believe will also help you to evolve. That's my purpose and the reason that we're here on today. We all with one accord and ready to, lay shot down some game. The topic that we will be discussing today that I'm so excited to present to you is this, the shit ain't gotta be hard. I think we kind of have it programmed and set in our head sometimes that, life gonna be hard. People tell us that, when we young and when we children, they enjoy being a kid because life is hard.
Okay, adult.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to get into the adulting stages, and it's just, going to be difficult for you. We kind of program ourselves with that when we're children. And I think a lot of the inner child work that I've been doing lately is just telling my inner child, hey, life ain't always going to be hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you're going to go through some things. There are going to be some struggles, but life ain't just hard all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fun, good times. Like you work, you attain a certain level of things, and then things aren't as difficult as you try to always make them to be.
Other people
That's
make it.
And
that's the one.
your perception in whether or not something is hard is very powerful. You know what I'm saying? Because hard is an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's objective. It's not like either something is hard or it ain't. It's an opinion. Something that's easy to me could be hard to somebody else. It's all about the perception that you take and how you look at things as to whether or not something is difficult. So just trying to help my inner child to understand that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we go through things. There are struggles, but life ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? We can learn through ease and with love instead of with pain all the time and difficulty. It's other ways to evolve. It's other choices that we can make in this experience that aren't necessarily hard. So that's kind of the theme of the show today. We're going to get into some, really deep things, because that's what I do, deep, and I got my deep people here. Somebody over here don't even deal with nothing shallow. Like, if it's shallow, he ain't fucking with it. So, that's definitely the arena that we're in. I wanted to give just a really good example of this that I had throughout the week or whatever. I kind of fell off, of my little weight loss journey or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I had a little love experiment over the summer. I think the experiment went well. I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call my relationship now. Love experiments.
Okay.
Somebody was walking on your head. You felt somebody walking on your head. Shout out to Royal Lane Studios. That's where we are recording today. If you need to get your podcast on or whatever you need to do, they got the experience and the services and the products and stuff. You need to be able to do that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Mainstage Entertainment for setting this up for us. If you're looking for management, well, don't come to my manager because she full, but she might hook you up with somebody or something. But shout out to Mainstage Entertainment, for setting this up for us. But as I was saying, I was having a love experiment, right? And so I had kind of got a little distracted from my weight loss goals or whatever, right? And I actually hadn't even recorded a workout in my phone since July of 2021, y'all. So I'm coming up on a year before since I've been consistent in my workouts.
Yeah.
And so I had got up that morning, I chanted, because I get up every morning, I chant. Shout out to Love Marone and the Actual Proof Buddhist Club on Clubhouse. If y'all not on Clubhouse, first of all, get on Clubhouse. That's where your life is, I'm telling you. Like, your whole life gonna change if you get on Clubhouse. But I get up every morning, I chant with a group, and we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, so I was in my group, chanting with my group on a Sunday morning, and then when I got done, I turned on the meditation, and in the meditation, they was just talking about matching the vibration of the frequency that you want to be on, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first time that I was introduced to it was like through vision boards. Somebody was saying you need to visualize, what you want to experience in your life. You need to start imagining what the emotions would feel like, you know what I'm saying? And so she was kind of on that thing of like, that's how you change your vibration to shift into a different frequency or circumstance, right? Is you envision what would you be doing if you were in that situation. So I was like, I had walked around my bed and I got on the scale and I was like, this is not where I need to be at. And so I was like, what would I be doing right now if I was at my ideal weight and my body and my health was the way that I wanted it to be? I was like, you know what I would be doing right now? I would be out maintaining my body. So I'm finna go for a walk. And, you know, immediately that resistance came to me or whatever, right? I was like, oh, it's going to be hard. You ain't been walking in forever. You going to be hurt. You going to be sore. And I was like, you know what? No, because I had told myself that Tuesday when I was chanting in the room, like, no, things don't have to be hard. I was like, it's not going to be hard. And so long story short, I go out and walk. And when I get to the end of my walk, I had turned on my thing to track it. I had got twice as far than I normally get in the same amount of time. Just because I shifted my mind frame to no, it's not going to be hard. I turned on my little clubhouse room. I was listening to my meditations as I was walking. I was like being introspective and reflective. And something that normally in 45 minutes I would barely have made a mile, I made 2.5. Okay. You know, and it's just all about the perspective that we take when we approach things as to whether or not something is going to be hard. I made sure I stretched before I got started so I wasn't sore. Okay, I had my water, so I was hydrated. I was feeling good. I wasn't out of breath. You know, and not realizing that although I hadn't been working out, like I've been much more active, you know what I'm saying, in my life, in my everyday life, in the way that I move around and do things. Yeah. I drink a lot more water, so I'm hydrated, so my muscles don't have any reason to be sore. They got everything that they need to absorb the nutrients. And so that's my example of what not having to make things hard look like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get into an opportunity just for Chief, for you to introduce yourself to the people. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got here today, what you do.
All right. I'm Chief Rebel by stage name. I'm an artist, I produce, engineer, write, rap, sing, all my own stuff. Started 10 plus years ago. With music, for me, it started at a very early age. Like, you know, everybody go to church, hear the choir, that'd be your favorite part. My father played the drums, so I naturally had my attention. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it started there, and it just kind of manifested and evolved into a hobby that I started at after I played basketball from like 7 all the way up to college. I thought I was going to the league. I had me a nice little jump on me, but nothing else. So I thought I was going, but it didn't work out. By my sophomore year, the day I found out I wasn't going to be able to try out was the first day I walked in the studio. And it started as like a hobby. I wrote my first 32 bars. And here we are. Like it's been a long one. But you know what I'm saying, I decided a long time ago what I really wanted to be and what my purpose was. I knew it was music. Because even in high school and stuff, when I thought I was just going to the league, like I had shut everything else off. Like I was in a marching band. I played the snare. I could have evolved and got into more music then, but I feel like everything, like you said, it ain't always got to be hard. So everything happened for a reason. Everything kind of morphed me into who I am today. And having my own, you know what I'm saying, record label, having my own brand that I drew and put together, becoming real self-sufficient as an artist, because when you're just an artist out here, it's so tough to get original content, and then it's so tough to get studio time you can't afford and all these things. So along my journey, I just got sick of waiting on everybody else and then waiting on my pockets to be right enough for me to do what I want to do. So you know what I'm saying, I manifested to be, I wanted to be one of the greatest artists and producers of all time.
When you say you manifested, what do that mean? Because I feel like people be saying that and it sounds so cryptic. Like, I manifested it.
I told myself, in spite of what everybody told me, in spite of what my situation looked like in the matrix or reality, that I was going to be the greatest artist and producer of all time. I was broke on the couch at my mama's house. I'm still going to be the greatest. Hey, I'm at my sister's crib using her car. I'm still going to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what my circumstances were, I chased to LA, you know what I'm saying? Chasing me, rooming with somebody. Like, just having the studio to live in. I'm going to be the greatest artist and producer of all time. So you just repeat those things to yourself, and then you look up and your life starts. Like, reflecting what you said. And even if it comes with a little give back, because it ain't just gonna turn over for you. So it's a little give back, it's a little friction, and then you got yourself in front of yourself half the time. You know what I'm saying? You dream and have these big visions, and you want to just, you know what I'm saying, give up sometimes. Cause you're like, man, I really got. Nah, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You got it. Don't talk yourself out of it. So that's really what manifesting is to me. I can't tell you what the definition of it is or what everybody else.
That's what I was looking for. We want something practical, something we can do. You know what I'm saying? Because you can read me a definition off Google, but when it's time, what do I do?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You said manifest. How do I manifest? What do I do?
Break it down to me like I'm in kindergarten, okay?
Like, no matter what, no matter how far-fetched, if it's on your heart, if it's in you to do, like, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And next thing you know, pieces start falling in place. Then you just learn all the lessons.
I mean, it's kind of going back to what you just said, you know, envisioning yourself there and talking yourself through it and not making it like hard mentally, but like just like saying like, okay, I could do this. This is where I want to be envisioning. What is it going to look like? How am I going to look? Where am I going to be? What is it going to look like? Or whatever. That's kind of, you know, lining up. You know what I'm saying?
And so I heard you say something about feeling like music was a hobby for you, right? And I can so relate to that of like, all of the things that I love and I'm passionate about, I just always felt like, well, these is hobbies because I have to work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have a career. I have to have a job. So what was it for you, Chief, that shifted you from thinking that doing music and walking in your purpose was a hobby to understanding, nah, this is my life. This is who I am. Like, what was that transition like for you?
When that's a loaded question because I feel like it came in phases. Like, it started as a hobby, you know what I'm saying? I was rapping with some cats. Shout out Low, shout out B. Walker, shout out my cousin Tay. You know what I'm saying? People love to call you when you're busy. When you ain't doing nothing. Huh?
What's with the D&D?
It's not.
That's the iPhone. You just hit the little switch on the side.
You know,
like,
I hate.
fancy,
Sometimes I.
What had happened?
See, sometimes I don't be thinking. But it happened for me in phases. It started like, you know what I'm saying, with me writing with them in the dorm and really like trying to like sharpen iron with them. Like, they already got their styles. They already been doing this. They was a group. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't even known, you know what I'm saying, to do music or rap like that at the time. But I started rapping with them. And then I ended up getting kicked out of school for reasons you know what I'm saying, y'all figure out if y'all go listen to the music.
What song we gotta listen to for that? Because I'm nosy.
Oh, hey, you got a deep dive. Hey, you got to go find it.
He say listen to everything.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Hey, I'm an open book if you listen. But yeah, I got kicked out of school and I was left to do it on my own. I had to come home. Went from being the golden child, so he off of school, my baby. Now it's food and
Statistic.
yeah. There ain't gonna be nothing.
Cause school is the only way to be
School
something,
is the
right?
only way to be something. You know what I'm saying? So I come home and I didn't have nothing. I didn't have basketball no more. I didn't have school no more. I didn't have the people I was around no more. But I had that music. So I went, you know what I'm saying, to a shout out Panther Boys and Girls Club. They used to have a thing called Coming Up. So from the morning till about 6 p.m., 5:30, 6 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, it's the Boys and Girls Club for the kids 6 to 18. But Coming Up was more for like the teenagers, and we'll hoop and stuff like that. So they had the studio in there, and this version of my music is non-existent at this point, but it was my first album I put together. This was back in 2010, and it was called For Worthy, because I was so hell bent on being the best out of the city, and all that. Like it was so crazy. It was.
So your first music that you ever made is like not available right now. Like nobody can hear it.
I
See,
mean,
that's encouraging for me, cause I be feeling like if I put something out and it ain't perfect, then
see, I put on
stain for life.
I put on D and it's still, and the people still come.
They didn't figure out a way to get through.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, that first project, I probably have a few people that had it, but I wouldn't bank on them still having it. So, and it's not who I am now.
Okay.
But
I knew him.
But
He
so it was
wasn't
there.
always on that.
So it was there. Like I had developed like a real sense of like I could really do this. So then the next phase was running into a lot of my partners. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Crew, rest in peace AD, rest in peace G Stack. We like formed like a Wu-Tang side of rappers, like all different styles. We all from Meadowbrook. You listen to everybody. Like you can go find this stuff on YouTube. This is, but for the time then, it was actually dope. And
what was the name of the group?
The Crew,
The
DAKRU.
That's
you know what I'm
Meadowbrook
saying?
stuff, okay? I'm from that area, okay?
Oh,
But yeah, man, rest in peace, my boy AD. AD was like the glue. He was the one that, like, he was just quarterbacking everything. You know what I'm saying? He had the music side. He'll put us in, like he like back then, like he was the only one talking to the promoters and doing all that shit.
Okay.
And then like he was the reason I got my first job, like my first forklift job. He was that type of cat back then for all of us. But yeah, we had formed the Crew. We put out like a whole 2-disc thing, and we went selling the blank CDs with our name written on them and all that. And we put some T-shirts together and shot videos. We did all that, and I had a sense of then like, okay, it's a lot more work to go into this. So I got even more serious about it. But I also knew that like I had to stand apart. My message was changing.
Right.
Like I couldn't just sit there and rap about whatever. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't, you know what I'm saying, just about that for me no more. It's not so much a hobby. Like I really mean what I'm saying. And not to say nobody else didn't, but it's just
No, that's an important distinction. Like when you're doing something and your goal is to contribute to collective consciousness, like you get so much more further. When it's not about me being a star and me being on stage and me doing the stuff I want to do, and it becomes about how can I contribute to the lives of the people that listen to my music, and help, like that's a whole different level of working with the universe. Yeah.
So, and then it's another thing when you, it just kind of chooses you. I feel like music chose me at a certain point. I would listen to, like at that point with the Crew, I had created a song called Living in Darkness. It's on YouTube. It's man, it was the birth of Chief Rebel. Cause then I left this out. My rap name then was Cash Cam.
Okay, with the Crew. Okay.
Yeah, but it was an acronym then. It was Cooperate and See Hella Cash and Money. So it wasn't just Cash Cam. Like I like it had to have some meaning or something. So okay, I'm cooperating to see hella cash and money. And I did that song Living in Darkness, and it just turned something on. Like this was like, all right, bro, this is what you're supposed to really do. So from that point on, like I still had real life to learn and child stuff I had to deal with in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff I suppressed, but I still had music, and I still had a yearning to like say something that's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That okay, no matter where you at, you gonna listen to this. You be 12 years old, listen to it. You like how it sounds. You like the way the cadence is in this song. Then you know what I'm saying? You 16, you come back. Okay, now you understand it a little bit more. Now it's like hitting different. then you 26 and it's like, bro.
That's what I'm going through right now. Okay, like
That's how you make the music timeless.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to mean more than just a hot song on the radio or talking about what I got, or I'm saying spilling the same thing that we was all trying, everybody trying to rap.
yeah.
So yeah, I got serious about it. Yeah, about that time after living in darkness, it was just like, I'm coming a whole different way, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna do what I feel on my heart. I'm gonna give y'all what's on my heart. So it's a lot of music that I created years ago that I wasn't even mature enough to really understand what I was saying.
So
But
you
it was
go
from
back
my-
and listen to the music and it talks to you
What?
different, like the Bible, man. I love
What?
that.
What? My OG, shout out Boye Kenyatta. You know what I'm saying? My mentor, man. There wouldn't be this level of chief without that man. You know what I'm saying? He came along my journey around 2014, and I just remember him telling me one day, he was like, "Man, you got all the answers in your music. Like anything, all your life hacks that you need is in your music. You just." But that's when I wasn't looking at applying what I knew. I just knew it. It just came from my heart. Because I was knowledgeable, but I wasn't being wise. So, you know what I'm saying? You can know a whole bunch of shit, but if you don't apply it, you're not wise.
Okay, that's the whole nugget right there.
Yes. So, like, I hear you talking about cooperation, right? And I hear you talking about your mentors. It kind of, like, brings us into the next question that I have for you of, like, how do you incorporate other people in what it is you're doing? How do you cooperate with other black businesses in order to build your black businesses? How do you position yourself for mentorship and things like that? Just helping people understand, like, how do I make these connections? You know what I'm saying? How do I nurture them? Where do I need them at? Like, tell us just about your experience with other black businesses and other people in positions. Like, if you see somebody that was where you wanted to be, how you partner with them in order to get the mentorship that you needed, but still, like, do your own thing.
Well, I think it's simple. I think you got to understand that relationship is more important than money. I've cooperated with a lot of different black businesses, and you can do the work for hire, but it don't mean as much as if you barter and you build relationship. So you bring something to the table, like even if it's just a listening ear. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some people want you to sit down and just listen to them. And if you listen to him, he might bless your game. You never know. You never know where your mentor gonna come from.
Yeah.
I didn't go seeking my mentor. I stumbled across him and realized this is a gem. This is like, let's get it. Like, what are we talking about? So I just believe, as far as like cooperating with businesses, it's just make yourself accessible. You know what I'm saying? But don't compromise yourself just to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't compromise your art. Don't compromise your vision and what you're doing. But get in the right rooms with the right people, and then build a relationship.
So what if you could just give people one piece of advice before we kind of wrap up this segment and move into something else? What would you tell somebody that looks at you and says, "Man, I want to be in his shoes"? Like, what would your one piece of advice for be if you just had to tell them one thing? What would you tell them?
If you want to be in my shoes, clean yours up.
Okay.
Because you don't want these shoes. You just want your shoes to be nice. Just be you. If you want to be me, be you. Like that's it. That's it. I knew the journey I was taking. I chose to take it. You know what I'm saying? I knew it's gonna be an uphill battle, uphill journey. So just staying true to myself. Like, that's the only way you'll be able to wear the shoes, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Authenticity is so important. You know, and like, I know for me, I've heard people all throughout my life saying, "Oh, just be yourself. Be yourself." But who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I?
That's the question.
And why do you wait till we adults to figure out like who we are? Like, why?
Because the curriculum that we were given is the only one that, like, bro, okay, let's talk about it. the school system didn't teach you how to love yourself.
Right.
Didn't teach you how to understand the intangible things of life. School system is pushing workers and bosses. None of that has to do with your human growth. They're really teaching you how to remove human parts of yourself by forcing information on you. It's not going to help you, really. It's just information. Now, don't get it twisted. Your science, your math, your right, those all are important. Yeah. I'm not saying that by a long shot, but I'm saying the curriculum can be shifted to where these kids can be taught these things before they're 20-something years old, and everybody. Then you realize, like, damn, mama, daddy, granny, don't nobody really know what's going on. Okay. So now everybody, like, that makes certain people lose hope, lose faith and belief. So I just believe that it's just what we was taught. That's why. You know what I'm saying? You got your few people who were blessed. Like, it's some people that were blessed with just understanding. They tapped in a different frequency because they was young. Then you got your others who had parents who, outside world is outside world, but let me show you what it is. Yeah. Most of us didn't really have it, you know what I'm saying? And that's only because knowledge and information just became tangible to everybody here recently. Yeah. So don't be too hard on your ancestors and the people that came before you, because a lot of this shit wasn't really set in stone or you know what I'm saying? Like, we just now really understanding what's going on. So get off your high horse.
Yeah, they did the best they could with
what they had, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we're always evolving. Everybody is. So no matter if you're 60 years old, you can find yourself just like a 20-some-odd-year-old, just like a 30-some-odd-year-old. Like, time is what you make it.
Yeah, it's an illusion. Time is an illusion. I think this is a perfect segue into Trap Therapy Thursday. I know we discussed a different order, but I think this is the perfect time to talk about self-discovery, right? So this segment of the show is called Trap Therapy Thursday. And what we do in this session is just talk about how we use self-discovery tools to find who we are. You know what I'm saying? Who am I? What is my purpose? What is my experience while I'm here on earth going to be like? And how do I know if I'm on the right path? You know, and so there are many, many different tools that are available for people to use. Astrology, numerology, genealogy, divinations of all different kinds and all different cultures have their own divination systems. And so today with Chief, we're going to delve a little bit into numerology and astrology, because those are the things that I know for him to be interested in and to use to kind of give him some guidance and insight and understanding into who he is and be able to relate to himself and, you know, show himself self-love and self-understanding. So if you could tell us a little bit about your relationship with numerology and just kind of how you came into it and how you use it in your everyday life.
Okay. I came into astrology first.
Okay.
It started by like just looking for my horoscope. You know what I'm saying? You want to find an attachment of yourself somewhere that you can kind of relate to. And then that's very vague because it's for all Scorpios. We all got individual walks. We all were born in different times, different longitudes, latitudes, all that. So there's a specifics. There's specifics that come with your actual birthday, the time, the day, the year, and the place. And when you go searching those things, it'll read you your rights and tell you all the things that you feel. It's crazy that water is playing because that's like literally the manifestation of me learning and understanding that what's for me is like genuinely for me. And the horoscopes and numbers, with the numbers, it started off when I started asking questions outside of what I was conditioned to believe. Like, at first, I remember the first time somebody came up and told me, like, bro, you know that white Jesus that ain't really Jesus. And it was news. You know what I'm saying? You always had a speculation. You grew up in church, all that good stuff. But then somebody walk up to you and tell you, you know who that is? Nah. Well, go look up Caesar Borgia. I went and looked him up. Like, I mean, yeah, a little bit I could see, you know what I'm saying? So like after that, it just started unraveling. It was just certain, like a lot of that stuff just really didn't make sense. So then I just started getting into conversations with 5%ers, and you know what I'm saying? I stepped outside of just being a Christian, and I started to listen to everybody.
Yeah.
And I realized the compare and the contract. You know what I'm saying? Learning that the whole world is a pizza and all these things are just a slice.
Right.
So numerology started off as like the supreme mathematics and understanding that. But then I used to see, like I would always look at the clock and it'll be two times, 8:17 and 11:20. I felt like that was my wake up call. Because 8:17 is 817, that's where I'm from, Fort Worth. And then 11:20 is my birthday. I will always look at no matter AM or PM. I look at the clock, look at the phone, them are two numbers I see. Then as I started growing and evolving throughout my journey, I started to see 11:11. 11:11 was like, all right, bro, you reached this checkpoint. And then I started to do like, okay, what do these numbers mean? Then I jumped into angels and all that. Then it was a takeoff from there. After that, like I would always see them all. Synchronicities, repeated numbers, no matter where I'm at. I look up on the building, it's right there. I look at somebody's license plate, it's right there. I look at the phone, it's right there. And then to the point where I would screenshot. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't the only one did this, so everybody, you know what I'm saying?
I still be screenshotting.
When you come into your own understanding of the numerology of things, and you start to see these things, you start to pay attention to them. And then I think it started with me looking up what a certain number meant the first time, and it was just like, okay, all right, you know what I'm saying? Some of it is vague, but you know, for the most part, what resonates. So now I've learned that number power is really power. It's not a message for you to sit there and wait on. It's a power that you're supposed to release. You know what I'm saying? You can, with the right time, day, place, everything, measurements, it's all controlled by numbers. It's only 9 of them. I did this. It's only 9 of them. It's only 9 numbers. 0 is a cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once I understood that, I broke everything down. You know what I'm saying? You got Roman numerals, you got numbers, and you got words, you got letters. You know what I'm saying? A story breaks down to words. Words break down to letters. Letters break down to numbers. It's only 9 numbers. You know what I'm saying? So that's my overall understanding of numerology. And knowing that it ain't just coming from one place or one arena. It comes from everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say God is all things. But then they shut off God at a certain point. All right, we ain't crossing this line. God is all these things. God ain't what you talking about, God.
Yeah.
Either he all things or he all things.
Okay.
Which way is it?
Which way is it? Like, what we doing? So I just learned to realize that I asked the universe for certain things. I asked God for certain things a long time ago. He ain't hard of hearing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move everything around so you have it. And then all the numbers just be confirmation. All right, you on the right path. You doing all right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you interpret. People have dreams. People can see like a baby going like Andre 3000 had the verse on Kanye thing where he's talking about he's seen a baby stroller, a lady walking a baby in a stroller, and it made him think about the circle of life of his mama. And was that a sign from her, you know what I'm saying? People can look at anything and draw any interpretation, any inspiration.
Absolutely.
Don't shut yourself off from that. But that's like numbers control. Like numbers is a part of everything.
Absolutely. And so, for me, I was introduced to numerology in a similar way with like the supreme mathematics and just having an understanding of what each of the numbers mean. And then it's like I got to a certain point and I'm kind of still there now where I always see 1040, right? You know, I'm the tax lady, so I'm like, okay, 1040, I see you, I understand what you're telling me with the universe, but you know, 4 and 1 make 5, you know what I'm saying? And 5 represents power and refinement. And, you know, and it's just a constant reminder for me that I have the power to refine and change my life to be whatever I want it to be. Like, I can transform into whatever I want to be. Like, my mind is powerful, and whatever I can imagine, I can actually accomplish. Yeah. And so every time I see 1040 on the clock, I know that is a reminder for me that you got this. Yeah. Whatever this is, like, you got this.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then for something practical, I always want to have like a practical application. And what we're going to talk about today is a specific placement in astrology, which is called Lilith, right? So your Lilith is basically an explanation for you of a place in your life where you're going to experience like opposition and some type of difficulty. There's going to be an obstacle and like a theme in your life for you to overcome, you know? And it helps you, whatever your Lilith is, to reach your North Node. Because your South Node is kind of what you come into the world understanding and being a master of. And then your North Node is what you're supposed to be aspiring to. And your Lilith Moon is kind of like what helps you transition that to be able to achieve that energy. And so for me, my Lilith is in Leo. And the way that I've seen that play out in my life with Leo being related to like fun and children and things of that nature is that I've had, you know, some difficulties as a parent, you know, with my children. I became a parent at a very, very young age. Like, I was 16 when I got pregnant, 17 when I had my first kid, and then before I was 21, I had 3 more kids. So here I am, not even 21, and I'm everybody's mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna be big mama status without these, you know, children. And so I didn't necessarily always have the support, or actually I always had the support. I didn't perceive the support around me, right? Because in my mind, having all these kids gonna be hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had already told myself, like, this gotta be this is the hard shit of adulthood that people was talking about. And right here.
I'm sure you wasn't alone. I'm sure somebody else told you this is gonna be hard.
Yeah, 3 kids. Definitely. Like, just when I told somebody I was pregnant, like, my dad bust out crying. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit, my life is over. Like, if my daddy said about this, then I know that this is like, this is it for me, you know? And so I always, for a very long time, had that in my head, you know, that this is going to be something difficult. This is going to be something hard. But as I've grown and evolved, like, parenting ain't necessarily got to be hard. And I have an abundance of support around me. Yeah. An abundance of people around me who are willing to help me. And just in the strangest places, I have found people that were willing to step in and help me and make things easier for me as it relates to being a parent, you know. But I had to be aware of the abundance that surrounds me, because we don't lack nothing. Everything that we need is available to us in this universe, whatever we need, you know what I'm saying? And like, even like looking at my children's fathers and saying, oh, they not doing enough. Well, are you telling them what you need? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Are you asking for help? You know what I'm saying? Are you in position to be able to receive anything from them? Are you flaunting your feminine energy where anybody could even do anything for you if you wanted them to? Like, you know, being real with myself about the energies that I needed to correct in me in order to be able to accept the abundance of the universe that is around me. Because like, all of my children's fathers are very capable and have always been capable, but I had it in my mind, it's hard and I gotta do it by myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the plight of a single mother, is you gotta do it by yourself. But no, not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? But you do have to open yourself up to the help. You can't be saying, oh, that help ain't good enough. Oh, that's not the way I would do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to be open to whatever the universe brings you. You got to be open to the abundance of the universe. And so that's kind of how my Lilith has played out in my life, and just having this energy around me that says, oh, it's got to be hard to have kids, when in fact it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. My kids teach me so many lessons about myself and about life, and then being a parent to them has really helped me to reparent my inner child. Like, now, anything that I'm teaching my teenagers, I'm teaching my teenage self at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And having an understanding that I'm outside of I'm outside of time, and I can go back and forward and deal with myself at different phases of my life and heal different areas of my life has just been transformative. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole mindset is able to shift. You know what I'm saying? And so we did a little experiment before this. If you don't know where your Lilith placement is, or if you don't have a chart for astrology, you can go to cafeastrology.com, and they're not paying me, But, you know, I got to find somebody to pay me for these plugs. Okay. But you can go to cafeastrology.com. And now you got to go through a whole lot. But just keep looking for birth chart and click on birth chart until you get to where you can enter your information for your birth chart. And get that information about yourself and just start to analyze it. Like, they give you a whole 10-page report of stuff you can read. So you can break it down into small pieces or whatever. But the Lilith placement specifically is what we looked at today. And so I know y'all haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare, but if you could just talk a little bit about where your Lilith is and how you feel like it plays out in your life. Simone, we'll start with you. I haven't done much with my co-host here, but your segment is coming up, don't worry.
But I mean, I looked and I seen it was in Leo, and like, you know, when we were looking at it, my first question was like, oh God, the one person that I know that's a Leo, I'm always in opposition with a Leo. Like, so what is this? And then I'm looking at it and it's talking about basically for me, just like not psychoanalyzing everything, not always overthinking about everything, like learning how to take in like compliments and things that I have issue with. Like, you compliment me, I'm be like, okay, they want something, you know, like, or like they just saying next, they want trying to get next to me and they trying to, you know, like, or like if I like this, like starting something fresh, it's just like, okay, am I gonna do good? Am I gonna be okay with it? Okay, shit, I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna stand on the sideline. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna ask a million questions. I'm gonna get on their nerves so that way they don't tell me. You know, like, that's kind of how I am. So then I'm just like, okay, does the Leo that I know do that? You know, like, okay. So now I feel like it's time for me to work on me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that way, like, it's not a trigger point for me to where, like, I'm able to receive and teach at the same time. Because we be having our little moments where I be teaching stuff and they be like, I'll be like, okay, like, I taught them something. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of resonating for me. But those 10 pages are real, okay? I think it's a little bit more than 10, okay? Because my thumb was hurting.
That
okay?
astrology report is long,
okay? Long. Nighttime reading.
But it's, you know, a blessing to be able to have something that can tell you about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everything don't necessarily resonate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might not be in a place in your life where it makes sense for you yet. You know what I'm saying? So when you're reading the things, you know, you take it with a grain of salt. What works for you, what you understand, take what don't. Just, you know, file it away in your subconscious, and when you need it, it'll, you know, pop up for you.
Right.
What about you? Tell us about your Lilith.
Well, I was today years old when I found this part. You know what I'm saying? I know my house, traits, all that.
Okay.
But, yeah, my son, all that good old stuff. But my Lilith is in my son's Scorpio. So, and what I draw from it, really, I'm going to read it to y'all. It say, he may have felt uncomfortable regarding the natural need for intimacy, attachment, and depth contact. He can feel wrong expressing jealousy or possessiveness and attachment. However, learning to accept that these are natural, very human feelings can go a long way towards his self-acceptance. Can also put an end to extreme behaviors or tantrums in these areas. And I think we all, I think we all throw a little tantrum every now and then.
So I was gonna say, tell us about these tantrums you be throwing.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think they really be tantrums. I think they be like it. A lot of things go into how you deal with your emotions. And as a black man, the first thing you taught is to suppress. You know what I'm saying? You can't feel. You can't. You better shut the fuck up. You better put that damn ground. You don't let nobody see you sweat. I think it wasn't. That wasn't the true intention of what they were saying. But we didn't understand that. We just thought we ain't supposed to. But they were just saying, don't let nobody see you.
Yeah, it's a time and a place where it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But that was misconstrued. So, I think part of that is that, and then part of it is like, all right, well, if I can't feel anything, then I shouldn't. I wouldn't even say nothing. So then you suppress that, and then I think as a Scorpio, I think I want to control so much in my life. And what I take from that to summarize it is, be my natural element, water. Don't try to go against the nature. Just flow and crash as you should in whatever climate you're in. Like, don't be trying to be, you know what I'm saying, a breezy, wavy water in Alaska. Nigga, if you in Alaska, you gotta be cold. Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah.
And I think it's just placing things into the right perspective. But tantrums, I used to go tantrums.
It was a realization for me.
I did.
Tantrums?
I did, but they weren't just for, no reason. Maybe not in my mind. It was something small at that time, and then you just snap that you've been holding all this shit in.
That's what suppression
And you
is.
suppress that, and then you try to put something. You try to open the top and put something else. It's all finna come out on you.
Speaking of suppression, the next segment that we're going into is my Tantra, Taboo, and Transmutation section. Basically, I just wanted to talk about sex, so I just put a fancy title on it. But that's what I want to talk about. And but suppression does make me think about sex, right? Because the majority of my life, especially like after I had all these children, like I was scared to have sex. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, like I feel like if I have sex, then I'm gonna get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like because
that was your experience.
My experience.
Yeah, okay,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like a girl's fertile. And then come to find out, you can only even get pregnant on a few days of the month. And if you know when you ovulating, you can get around that. You know what I'm saying? You don't even need to. Yeah, that's why I was like, why y'all ain't tell us that?
Okay.
Just tell us
Fear.
don't do it. Just
Okay,
suppress
fear.
it, right? But the theme of the show today is it ain't gotta be hard, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about the actual development of sexual discipline. So I was able to suppress, I think the longest that I went without having sex was like a year and a half, right? I was pregnant with my second child and I was like, clink, clink, just lock this down, right? But then like after that, I had hoe phase, you know what I'm saying? A strong, long hoe phase, so like that wasn't true discipline, you know what I'm saying? Because true discipline requires consistency, right?
Yeah.
So if you're only able to do it, for a little while, then was it really true discipline? And I think it has a lot to do with the intention with which I approached that. I was doing it because I was afraid of getting pregnant or afraid of not being pleasing to the God that I was serving at the time. Not because I love myself and I care about, but I had the wrong intention. And so when we operate from a place of fear, we manifest that which we fear. Because I did end up having 2 more kids, which I love to death. But you know what I'm saying? I was walking in that fear and then manifesting the fear that I wouldn't be able to suppress my sexual energy for the rest of my life. Yeah. And so I feel like what helped me to make things easier in my adult life, and really just recently, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, develop like a structured system of discipline as it relates to sex, is that I understand the sacred nature of sex. I understand what sex is. I understand how sex impacts my energy, impacts the field of energy that surrounds me and the frequency that I'm on, what I attract into my life. When I have sex with somebody, I am telling the universe, hey, match me with their frequency, join me to this person and give me things that are like what you're giving them. Like I'm telling the universe, hey, align me with this person. So now that I understand that, it's easy for me to have sexual discipline, because I can look at somebody and be like, I don't want my life like that. Let me not. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for me to, turn down things and not let my body or my flesh or my natural desires outweigh what I want in the spiritual realm, right? Because I'm a spiritual being, but I just never had nobody break down the true meaning of sex for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask the question to each of you, does understanding the sacred nature of sex make it easier to operate with discipline as it relates to sex?
Absolutely.
For you? And then like how does that play out in your life? What is your understanding, and what has your experience been as far as like difficulties with sexual discipline? And be real with these people.
I feel like, personally, what I'm saying? I feel like it helps me because I start to realize how I act. Because I'm a very sexual being. I'm a very touchy-feely person. Like, I'm consumed with my relationship. I'm consumed with my mate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I want you to be all about me. I'm all about you. And it's like, like the pleasing factor, all of that type of stuff. So, like, when you find out, like, you consumed with it, and, like, I be having blinders, like, complete blinders on. It's just like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, the wrong, the right, everything. It's just like,
All the flags are green.
Yeah, you know, like it just says go. You know, like so it's just like, you know, like when you understand, like you get to a point in your life where you just like, okay, if I connect with this person, what is that connection gonna do? You know, like how does it serve me? You know what I'm saying? And then like, you know, is this person gonna allow me to have blinders on? Are they gonna allow me to, you know, not see the good and the bad? Are they gonna allow me, or are they gonna be like, okay, well shit, I did this, but I'm gonna push that shit on the rug because she ain't see it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like being one with me and being open with me and just like being like, okay, shit, let's work through this together. You know what I'm saying? So when you're aware of like how you react, then you're able to see through people. Like I can see a man look at me and I can see if he wants just sex from me or if he wants to connect with me. You know what I'm saying? Like in your tone, in your talk, like the way you approach me, the way that you talk to me on the phone, like if we go out on a date, the way you looking at me. Are you looking at me like you want to rip my clothes off? Or are you looking at me like, damn, I want to know her a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what is her brain doing? You know what I'm saying? Okay, shit, like it's the questions that you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So like I start to like in my brain be like, okay, let me look without the blinders. Like let me stop looking at what I like and look like put my glasses on and look because if I don't, like I get caught up. I could get caught up real fast. But like, you know, growing spiritually, you know, like you start to like take them blinders off and you start to like see everything around you. And crazy part is like when you connect yourself with somebody who's not good for you, you see signs all around. It's just like, are you looking or are you putting your blinders on and be like, okay, I don't see that shit. Like I start seeing certain numbers, I start seeing certain things, like shit start breaking in my house, like things just don't go right, like the shit is just not aligning for me. And I'm like, damn, I'm just fine last week, what was changed? Should I start talking to so and so? Nah, I got to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. let it out. You know what I'm saying?
That which does not
okay.
So what about you, Chief?
I think there's that perspective, and I respect it, and I can somewhat agree with it. But then I also look at understanding, and overstanding. You know what I'm saying? And once you understand the spiritual energy exchange, you understand what your power is as the male. You understand what the womb man is. You understand that she's a woe to you. You know what I'm saying? You then, you know what I'm saying? Because I went through my whole phase. I'm a man. Like, I don't really think you can classify it as a whole phase as a man. I mean, I'm going to run with that if we can.
Y'all gonna let me go?
I was a whole man. So, you know what I'm saying? I did manly things with. Eventually, I wanted to draw back all the energy I could. You know what I'm saying? It felt like this person had a piece of me. This person got a piece of me. This person got a piece of me. Yeah, so it's like calling your energy back. And then once you call your energy back by starving.
Yeah.
You starve your mind of the thought of these people. Like when I was in California, you know what I'm saying? I went 6 months. No sex. You know what I'm saying? And I came back and was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Again, but it was with different intention. It wasn't running from nothing. It was just an abundance. You know what I'm saying? So after that phase, it was just like, no, I really want someone for me. I want to be one with somebody. I want to be able to build on this energy, like really make it what it's supposed to be. And then to get that person, you gotta work on them a little bit. You gotta let them, you know what I'm saying, realize that this is stopping them. This is stopping them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like ain't no stay power. Just because I got it all together. I might be in chapter 13, you know what I'm saying? I meet a woman, a divine, beautiful woman that turns me on every way. But she in chapter 7, and she got certain things that she need to work on. Who am I? Just because I got it together now, to not have enough strength or understanding, I got to meet her where she at, just like I had to meet myself. So when I understood the importance of that, you know what I'm saying, I can change her energy when I make love to her, fuck on her, you know what I'm saying, however we choose to dress it up, you know what I'm saying. So it's all about which, like, I heard this pastor say, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I draw from everything. This pastor said, man, a woman is an incubator. You give a woman a seed, she give you a child. You know what I'm saying? You give her ingredients, she give you a meal. You give her bullshit, she will raise hell. So nigga, whatever you getting out your woman, because
Putting it in there.
Yeah. So that's how I know and check my energy. Because if I have a spiritual energy exchange with my woman and then she get the tripping, then I need to check something about myself. Now, insecurities, child work, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this pain that we all experience, everybody don't have a certain threshold. There's some people got physical threshold of pain, but they emotions, like, what?
Can't take it.
And I done been both people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I said, inner over understanding. I think when it comes to spiritual energy exchange, you must learn that aspect of it. And no matter where you at with somebody, you'll always be able to be the alchemist in the situation. You'll always be able to change and turn that tide. Because some people need to be pulled up. Some people do. Some people deserve somebody to pull them up.
How do you tell the difference though? Because like what you're saying, I can relate to that. Of like everybody is a mirror of you, right? You know, so no matter who you attract, like they're a piece of you. But it's like, okay, I'm on level 13. I'm not finna fuck with this level 2. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a 7, but this level 2, I gotta say no to that because that's a deterrent. You know what I'm saying?
Is it?
But I feel like
so now you putting limits on you and that person.
Yeah.
Because how you gonna sit up here and tell me that a 2 ain't a fast learner? Or that you are not capable of making a 2 into an 11 in a short period of time. You just shut yourself and that person out.
That 2 gotta want to be an 11.
See,
but you don't know that.
You don't know that though. It's the chance. Jay Prince said we all wake up with a chance and a choice. You take a chance on people and you let them make the choice. Okay, somebody, I brought you alchemy to change the direction of where you're going. Are you gonna take it or not? That's your choice. I gave you the chance. However you want to take chance and choice and break, hey, all of it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that you got to go deal with somebody lower than you. I'm just saying if you run into somebody and they not where you want your person to be, you mean to tell me you ain't gonna help them do the work to get where you know they can be?
Yeah, I'm gonna help them do the work, but like I said, it's gotta be a willingness there. You know, like I feel like anybody that 2 can definitely get to, you know, wherever they want to be at. I totally agree with y'all on that. But like I said, that 2 gotta want it.
Yeah,
everybody wants to be better.
I don't know about that. I don't think everybody
wants to. You don't know that everybody's. I know.
Nah, like everybody do want to be better. Everybody. Like, you can't convince me that people don't feel like they're doing right by themselves and whatever they're doing. And then there's some people that do like pain and won't, you know what I'm saying, are addicted to those things. I'm not speaking on that. I'm talking about people who are in circumstances that they are not in control of. They want better. They just can't get
themselves to be in control of it because we in control of it.
There's a lot of people out here not in control of what they going through.
They in control, they just don't realize that they in control.
Talk about the little people. Like, come on now. Like,
what people is not in control?
Huh?
What people, you know, I'm an accountability coach, so we got to talk about that. Who not in control?
Anybody under 25 years old. Your mind don't mature until you 25 years old.
Okay, so we talking about the children.
I'm talking about all us. It's a lot of grown motherfuckers past 25 that ain't in control either.
Yeah, depending on your trauma, your brain.
Depending on what,
brain
like, and then people wasn't in control of that.
Like, for real. Like, people are 24, 25 years old before they fully mature. Before they're fully able to have, like, you know, like their survival mode. To know that, to know that they're safe and know that they're loved and know how to calm their bodies and all of that type of stuff. So when you've been through a couple of little trauma stuff, that number go up a little bit. It's like, okay, now you're 30 and you just learn how to be safe and know how to calm your body. And you, like, you know, like, be able to kind of resonate with the person that you are. So it's just like, it depends on what they done been through.
And on top of that, people gotta want better. I get that. But if you possess a genuine and a real love for people, why would you rob them of that? Especially when you know that they ain't never really been shown. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at you for not receiving my genuine real love as real love when you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And people be so, you take it, like my thing said, like Lilith said, if I take it so personal, you know what I'm saying? I can't, if I take it personal, then it's gonna shift the pupil teacher paradigm. Then the other person has to start teaching you a lesson. Now you gotta learn. But as long as you allow them to be a pupil, The minute you take it personal, it's the minute everything go out the window.
Sit in the seat of the observer.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta sit there and you gotta, in order to give people what they need, you gotta observe. You gotta learn. You gotta realize what some of their triggers are. And then you gotta revert back to your old versions of yourself. You got some databases back there that's like, it may not be exactly like how this person acting, but it's a scheme. And you like, man, I see me right now. I don't even see you. So that's why I'm trying to help. I'm now is my chance to be who I needed in that moment. That's what that is. Especially when you see yourself in somebody else. You see an old version, then you wouldn't want nobody to give up on you. Now you know some people that walked away, but it was on purpose.
Yeah.
So you don't feel bad if you give a person a chance and they walk away. I ain't saying don't walk away. Nah, it's hard of hearing and really just too far gone.
Well, gotta live it.
Okay.
But the babies though, no, gotta look out for the baby.
All right, since we're on dating and relationships, I think this is a good segue into our segment that my beautiful co-host Melody is going to be leading us in. So take the reins, you drive.
Okay, well, we're gonna do a little living out loud. So like reality stars or whatever, they be living out loud. They live on social media. They post everything to their Facebook, their Instagram. Like they like to live out loud. Mm-hmm. So I was scrolling through my Instagram and I saw April Jones. You know what I'm saying? She kind of been controversy, in reality TV or whatever, because she was dating Omarion, and then she wound up dating his group mate or whatever, little fizzle pop. Mm-hmm. And then now she been with Tay Diggs, and they're are they in a relationship? But it looked like she living her best life. She laughing, she having a good time or whatever. So my thing is do you feel like living out loud while being in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like posting to your Facebook, posting to your Instagram is the best when you're just now starting to have a meaningful relationship? You know what I'm saying? Not something that you just kind of doing to do, but when you want something with the person, do you feel like living out loud on social media is the thing to do?
Okay, I think it depends on the intention of the relationship. So when I think about April Jones, I think that a big part of her relationships is for the success of her career, right? Because she a singer, but I ain't never heard none of her music per se. You know what I'm saying? So
she known for
a lot of the reason that she's in the spotlight is because of her relationship. So if your intention of being in a relationship is to have spotlight, then do you? You know what I'm saying? Now for me personally, I feel like what I'm trying to build is divine connections, right? And a lot of times divine connections need an incubating period. They need to not be out in the public so that they're not tainted, and you just have less to combat. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, any relationship can stand external pressure if people got the right focus. But why invite that into what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Because my shit is complicated. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't everybody's business. So that's how I move personally. It's you'll never know who I'm talking to until I done broke up with him. Then you might hear about it later, But I'm just a real private person in that way of I don't really know about it. But I definitely see and respect what she's doing because she got a different purpose for being in these relationships. And I mean, for me, if she had gone from Tay to Fizz to Omarion, I'd have been like, sis, what you doing? But I mean, she graduated. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad at that.
And she had the game. You know what I'm saying?
She doing her thing. So to me, you can't be mad at that.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you date a friend of a friend of a friend?
If I'm graduating.
So as long as you graduate.
I'm not going to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm graduating, I surely will. I just feel you know what I'm saying?
But what if they good friends? You know what I'm saying? It's going to break up their friendship for you to delve into the other friends. If somebody can break up their friendship, was they really all their greater friends to begin with? You know what I'm saying? I don't really... Was they? That's what I'm saying. Really, was they all that greater friends? If somebody else, a third party, can come in and break up your friendship, are y'all really that greater friends? But I mean, it's the expectation you set on the friendship, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're my best friend and I have somebody I'm married to, and whatever the case may be, we get divorced, we got children, whatever the case, and then you sit up there and date them. You think I ain't gonna have no malice in my heart for you? You know what I'm saying?
Me personally, if my friend dates one of my exes and she happy with one of my exes, I don't want him, sis. Do you? So you know what I'm saying? I guess it's just
But
my
not that
expectation.
ex. I'm talking about the good ex, the one that the.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it
he an ex for a reason.
That shouldn't even be the focus. Who I had is not who I have now.
You see what I'm saying? It ain't.
So if who I had and who I befriended wants to do with them, they two grown people.
I want y'all to be happy.
That's extra energy. That's extra energy outside of yourself. Like that you gon' like two grown people gonna make that choice regardless if you got a problem with it or not. Why?
Absolutely.
And why would I, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, why would I
It's none of my business.
deny myself because of what's best or what somebody else think is best for them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, what am I denying myself for?
So what do you, so you know, like in the black community, this is like fighting terms.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
yeah.
we finna go to the park. You finna catch this fade. You know what I'm saying? Cause like you messing with the person I used to mess with. So why do you feel like people don't have that understanding or whatever of like, you know, I'm done with them. You know, like it's whatever you could do with them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, you know, he was mine. He always gonna be mine. Some men, you know, like they'll be like, you know, like I ain't never giving him up. Like they can go do what they want to do, but like that's gonna always be mine.
I think a part of that is the way that we're taught to value relationships and ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like who you're attached to is not, it doesn't speak to my value. You know what I'm saying? What somebody who I used to date does now doesn't speak to who I am as a person or as a woman. But if I went off of my programming and the way that I was raised, like that's disrespectful and it somehow decreases my value what this person does when they go on from me. You know what I'm saying? I have to deal with the criticism and people looking sideways and other people's opinions and things like that. But if you're not using those things to value yourself or to base your own personal self-worth and value, those things don't matter.
So how can we change the story? How can you change people's perception of relationships? You know what I'm saying?
People need to just mind their motherfucking business. Mind your business. Like, bruh. It's not, like if I see that, if people bring that style, bro, you know, such and such and such and such is together. None of my business.
Right.
None of my business.
Okay, but everybody,
like,
everybody ain't got that in them. You know what I'm saying? Like some people trying to touch on.
But here's the trick. We don't own each other. We only experience each other. You are not the last human being on earth. If I leave you, I'm going to get with somebody. If this somebody just happens to be connected to you, that has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. If I say I'm done with you, then I'm done with you. Most people just be saying that and be holding all this ego and pride, don't really be done. Yeah. Then when somebody gets somebody for real, they just sit there with their lip poked out and messed up. Bro, you should have kept it real about how you felt.
Okay.
But if you really truly done with somebody, you ain't give a fuck if they go date Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna give a fuck. Like, that's just me.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I'm happy for all the people I used to date. Hey, more power.
Do you?
Okay. The whole ghetto girl got put in her place. Okay. The whole hood chick.
Yeah, we definitely don't own one another. And as a Taurus, like I get it. Like I definitely, for a long time in my life, do mine. You know, like period. So I understand that mentality for sure. But it's so much freedom and so much power in loving somebody unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? Loving yourself unconditionally. Like the way that I feel about myself don't change because of what someone else decides to do. The way that I feel about someone else, like the love that I have for them, don't change because they decide not to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't own anybody.
Yeah.
I own me. And that's it. You know? So just being able to accept that is very, very powerful. Thank you so much for those wonderful questions in that wonderful segment. You know, we definitely expanded our minds and our thinking on that. Did anybody have any final words or thoughts or things they wanted to contribute? And I definitely want you guys to give your Instagrams and all of that stuff. I'm Sunshine _the_ goddess on Instagram.
Tell them how to spell the
THA, you know what I'm saying? It's the goddess, Sunshine the goddess on Instagram. You can find me also as Sheera Sunshine on Facebook. So that's how you find me. Definitely like it, subscribe to the channel, and tell us where to find you guys at.
You can find me on your music platforms under Chief Rebel. Anything, all the music is there. You can find me on IG at I am Chief Rebel. Black Native Productions, and the Gas Stop Studios. All three of those are different entities in myself. You can actually type in blacknative.net and you can go right to my website to see all things Chief Rebel as well. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Look out for new music coming. I want to say the journey is greater than the destination. Don't spend all your time thinking about getting somewhere. Focus on the moments and the journey. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say, like, this is a great moment. Thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? On the first episode. This is actually my real first podcast sitting down talking. So, this is a moment. Yeah, this is a moment. So, I leave y'all with that, man. Like, the journey is greater than the destination. I lie. Greater than coming soon, the new album. So, y'all just, greater than coming soon. Be ready for that.
Okay, for my plug-in. Okay, you can find me at Love Money B, LOVEMONIED. Find me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like all the pages, subscribe to all the things. Okay, like your favorite pictures, then share them to your story. Invite 3 friends to like them, and then do that for everybody else's page, so that way we can all grow together.
That's right. And me, I'm gonna follow you back. I see you a real person. I'm gonna follow you back. I'm not trying to keep up with no balancing numbers and nothing like that. So I'm gonna follow you back. And I also want you to check out my website. If you like this conversation, you want to have a conversation like this, you know what I'm saying, you can definitely book me at Pain Transformed, www.paintransformed.com. That's my website. I want to say a big thank you to both of my guests. Thank you, Chief Rebel. Thank you, Moni B, for co-hosting. I look forward to having you here with me every week to do this.
Okay.
And Chief, we definitely want to have you back at some point. So, keep your radar up and ready to go for us.
Man,
and I appreciate your energy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Because people do need to hear what it is that you have to say. So, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be here next week. We do this every Thursday morning. We will be here ready to go. So, thank you for rising and sunshining with Sheera.